Good day, children! Доброго дня, діти! The topic of our lesson is outdoor activities. Тема нашого уроку – відпочинок на свіжому повітрі. Let's say, what is outdoor activities? Давайте скажемо, що таке outdoor activities. Term means any sport game or activity played or made out of doors. Термін означає будь-яку спортивну гру або діяльність, яка виконується на свіжому повітрі. Today we have speaking lesson. We will learn to make up dialogues about outdoor trip. Сьогодні в нас урок мовлення. Ми будемо вчитися складати діалоги про відпочинок на свіжому повітрі. We have a task. In pairs, talk about Katie's outdoor school trip using the words from the frame. У нас є завдання. У парах обговорити поїздку Кеті до шкільного табору, вживаючи слова з рамочки. But before we start talking about Katie's outdoor trip, let's listen what she have said about it. Але перш ніж ми перейдемо до обговорення, давайте послухаємо, що Кеті розповідала про свою поїздку.
Lesson 3. Weather and activities.
Listening. Page 168. Task 2. Listen.
Sit down, darling, and tell us everything about your trip. Was it good at outdoor school?
You bet it was. Actually, it was more than good. It was great.
Was the food good?
Well, sometimes it was, but sometimes it wasn't. The mushrooms were delicious, but the beans, yuck.
What was your favorite activity?
Rock climbing. It looks difficult, but it was a piece of cake.
How many instructors were there?
Lots. For every activity, there was an instructor. Our forest plants instructor was the best.
Were the instructors strict?
Oh yes, they were, but only during our activities.
Page 169. Task 4. Listen.
When were you up in the morning?
Very early, at 6 o'clock. We were all still sleepy.
Was it cold early in the morning?
Yes, it was, but our cabins were really warm, and with all the clothes in my bags, I sure wasn't cold.
What was the weather like?
Luckily, the weather was glorious the whole week. It wasn't as cold as the weather forecast said.
Would you like to go there again?
Of course.
Translation of the words in the frame. Переклад слів у рамочці. Great – чудовий. Lucky – везучий. Delicious – дуже смачний. A piece of cake – фразеологізм означає дуже легко. Difficult – складний. Strict – суворий. Sleepy – сонний. Warm – теплий. Glorious – славетний, чудовий. Let's have a look what Katie did on her trip to outdoor school camp. Давайте подивимося, що саме робила Кеті під час своєї подорожі до шкільного табору. So, first picture. Отже, перший малюнок. They made campfire. Вони розводили вогнище. Did rock climbing. Займалися скелелазінням. Made shelters. Будували укриття. Sang karaoke. Співали в караоке. Learned about forest plants. Вивчали лісові рослини. Canoeing. Каталися на каное. Passed course of first aid help. Проходили курс першої допомоги. Also, they played different group games. Також грали в різні командні ігри. According to the task, we can make up next dialogue, the conversation with Katie about her outdoor school trip. Згідно з завданням, ми можемо скласти наступний діалог розмови з Кеті про її відпочинок у шкільному таборі. Where were you, Katie? I was at outdoor summer camp. What was it like? It was great. What was the food like? The food was delicious. What was your favorite activity? A rock climbing. It was a piece of cake. Were the instructors strict? They were strict, only we're doing our activities. What was the weather like? The weather was not just warm, it was glorious. In order to make up a dialogue about outdoor school trip, you should use next questions. Для того, щоб скласти діалог про подорож або відпочинок на свіжому повітрі, необхідно вживати наступні запитання. Where were you? Де ти був або куди їздив? When were you there? Коли ти там був? Who was with you? Хто був з тобою? What was it like? Тобі там сподобалось? What was the weather like? Якою була погода? What was your room like? Якою була твоя кімната? What was the food like? Якою була їжа? Were there any children? Чи були там інші діти? What was your favorite activity? Яким було твоє улюблене заняття? When were you up in the morning? Коли ви вставали вранці? When were you in bed at night? Коли ви лягали спати? Let's make up a short dialogue about outdoor trip. Давайте складемо невеликий діалог про подорож і відпочинок на свіжому повітрі. В нас будуть уявні герої Джейн та Тім. Hello, Tim. How are you? Hello, Jane. I am fine, thank you. How did you spend your weekend? Oh, I went to the picnic with my parents. What did you do there? My sister with my mom were walking in the forest. My dad and I were fishing. What about your weekends? I visited my grandparents. My cousins and I were playing volleyball and hide and seek. I like outdoor activities very much. I like too. Your homework is make up a dialogue with your friend of your holiday outdoors. Use Jane and Tim dialogue as an example. Ваше домашнє завдання – скласти діалог про свій відпочинок на свіжому повітрі. Використовуйте діалог Джейн та Тіма як зразок. Thank you for your attention. Lesson is over. Goodbye. Дякую за увагу. Урок завершено. До побачення.